This is the way.
Oh shoot! Is that the movie we're supposed to watch today?
It is not.
Okay. Okay.
Hello, to the episode of the Capcom Podcast. I'm Cameron.
Justy.
I'm Ant-Man.
Sir Spanks here.
And the four of us together once again. I think it's been a really hot second since the four of us have been on a podcast together.
Yeah.
Probably.
But we've been rocking it, Cam. It's been
we have been rocking it. It's been great.
For a while.
I'm so not excited for today's episode.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Is it because there's four of us and you want
no
more
that's
the,
not the no
spotlight,
it's because
That's
our movie today, well, good morning
is good morning
is good morning. No,
yeah.
It is. I'm really scared that I spelled this wrong because I do that a lot. It's Michael.
No, that's spelled right. Yeah. No, you're good. Yes.
Is it really spelled wrong?
No,
I didn't say that. I said it's spelled right.
But no, it's right. I spelled it right. Yay!
you spelled it right. You're good.
Yay! I did a thing.
Cameron, why aren't you excited?
Because of the movie. I have opinions.
I like it.
I liked it too.
I know you did. I saw your review. And I didn't hate it. I do have opinions about it though, and I think I'm really interested to hear about this dichotomy that I at least saw between what the people that reviewed it, like the critics said, and what the audience said, and I think at least we'll have a split in that kind of opinion. But I hope everyone's doing well today. I hope y'all have come here for a great time. So Justin, tell me, what's Michael about?
Well, Cameron, it's about Michael Jackson.
That's all you got?
2026 American biographical film directed by that person and written by that person. I can't risk mispronouncing anything. It follows the life of Michael Jackson, covering involvement in the Jackson 5. Listen, I'm so not in the know on Michael Jackson lore that I've heard of the Jackson 5. I didn't know related to Michael Jackson. That's crazy.
No way. Don't say that. I can't be real. You're
That's a generation thing. Sorry.
No, it's not, because I knew.
Well, Cameron, you were raised by people who are older than you.
There's no way. Well, have you...
ABC.
Yeah,
it's easy as 1, 2, 3.
Michael sang that song? No one told me.
Yeah.
I know that song.
Who do you think the Jackson 5 were? Just 5 random African-American
kids? Who do you think the Backstreet Boys are? There's some guys.
But they sound like children.
Well, one of them does. But also, I wasn't sure if it's just, someone, an adult with a very high-pitched voice. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't expect this to be a weird controversial thing that I just don't know the members of a band.
It's weird.
It's not weird.
It's not just
it's the most popular band.
Yeah,
I just heard bands.
But Jackson 5 is not even a band name that I hear often.
Well, they don't perform
it came up in passing a few times. I'm sorry, then stop to ask. Wait. Did you just say the Jackson 5? Tell me who's in that.
It just seems
Tell me who's in that band.
Seems like something you should know.
I didn't know about any of the Michael Jackson not any, but I didn't know the full extent of the Michael Jackson even controversy related stuff until this last week or so. I knew some vague elements, but I'm not a pop culture whiz. If this was animated, maybe I would know everything about it, but that's not the case.
This movie takes place, I believe, it's between the 70s and the early 90s.
1988.
88's when the 88 is when
that's when it stopped.
That's when the London, that's when the London show was. I think that's not giving away too much.
1988.
So it's from when Michael Jackson was a kid until he breaks off from the band, and kind of everything that goes in between. It is kind of also a father-son story. Coleman Domingo plays Joe Jackson, his dad. Jafar Jackson, who is Michael Jackson's nephew, plays Michael Jackson, which is a fun one. Yeah, I mean, it goes to the hits, right? It goes through, the classics, everything from ABC, from the origins of the Jackson Five, through their first success, through basically Michael Jackson, I guess, first two albums.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to say it's the first two because it's his debut album, and then I believe it's
Off the Wall is his debut album, and then it's Thriller.
Thriller, and I don't think they really do anything past. Although they do sing "Bad."
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's from the same album as Thriller.
It's not.
When did Thriller come out?
It's not.
1982.
So that might have been his third album, but they don't really talk about the third album.
I think that kind of he might not have put it out yet, or that might have been a single or something. I'm not really sure. They kind of
But yeah, I mean, this is the 50th biopic that's come out in this decade. It feels like
mad because it's a biopic.
No.
Yes, he is.
Classic Cameron bias.
Yes, he is.
Cameron notoriously loves fiction and hates anything nonfiction, such as documentaries.
I hate this. I hate this slander. I hate this slander.
I mean, Cameron's the person who's always pushing for the docs, so it's hard to push this Cameron hates fiction narrative. But maybe Cameron thinks this is too fictionalized.
No. Should I start with my opening thoughts?
No,
I
think you should continue. With
Definitely not. We don't want that.
Continue with this segment of the show.
My opening thoughts are this is like the biggest critique that I have on this film is this feels like such a sanitized story of Michael Jackson. And my first comment for this whole film is this film aged midway through the movie so poorly that it's not funny. Based on Neverland and the theme of Neverland being brought up multiple times. I think it's very interesting, the backstory of the production of the shoot, which might actually explain why that has such a prevalent story element in the film. But I just feel that the story itself is mid. The story is mid. Now, that being said, I love the performances. Coleman Domingo is my favorite actor in this film. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. I think he's super strong in this movie. I think Jafar brings a very great Michael into this. And of course, the performances on stage and in the music videos are next to none. I just feel like the story exists and it could have been stronger and we could have had more of a conflict. I just feel like it just kind of is there in purpose of moving us from one musical bit to the next, right? And that's why I'm just like, not that I hate this movie, it's just I was expecting better based on the trailer. I thought the trailer was getting a lot stronger of a film.
Okay, counter, if the concern is like it feels like a part one, y'all kept telling me that I gotta watch Dune Part 2 and that I should put Dune Part 1 aside. So
Wait,
think about it that way. Think about it that way, Cameron.
Could have possibly
that is not even what? That's not even remotely my point.
Yeah. If this doesn't have weight to it, Cameron, don't worry. They'll probably make a part 2 in like a decade.
But they won't. They legally cannot make a part 2.
No, they could.
They legally can't.
No, they can't
represent certain things.
Correct. Which would be very hard then to do a part 2.
They'll find the way. They'll find the way. Don't worry. I talked to Jackson. Like
you talked to Jafar Jackson. You talked to Jafar Jackson.
He knows Mr. Jackson.
I can't.
But let's hear from the crowd because I feel like Anthony had a good time. So let's clash these opinions.
Did you guys watch together? No, right? Everyone else watched separately.
I watched it separately.
Yeah, I went and saw it with my mom. She loved it. you know, I had a good time. So yeah,
No critique whatsoever.
I can.
Nothing.
Well, no, I mean, I, unlike you, didn't watch the trailer because all that's going to do is set you up to be disappointed. So I had no expectations going in. I knew it was a musical biopic, so it's only going to be so good. So I went in with tempered expectations, and it met them, and the music was fantastic. So, I mean, was it the best movie I've ever seen in my life? Of course not, but I wasn't expecting it to be in the first place. And
No, but I thought it was going to be a good biopic.
Okay.
And it wasn't like it wasn't one of the better biopics. If I line all the biopics up, it's not my favorite.
What biopic, in your opinion, is better than this?
I think Bruce Springsteen Delivery from Nowhere is
about a musician. Let me specify.
Bruce Springsteen Deliver Me from Nowhere is above this.
I didn't like
Rocket Man. I loved it. It made me cry twice. Rocket Man is above this.
Hold on.
And Bohemian Rhapsody is above this.
Did it make you cry twice because your connection with Jersey and Bruce Springsteen and how like we live in the area? Or do you think at an actual production standpoint it's a better quality film?
I think
that movie has emotional toys to us because we grew up in the area. Like,
sure, I mean? That's fair. I think it's both.
Then that's not fair to Michael.
I don't know why the whole idea of Bruce Springsteen's depression and how he was dealing with it and all that connected to me, and I thought it was an interesting story about mental health. And it wasn't just a movie about his hits; it was a movie about an artist and a moment in his life, and not really just going through the hits as if that's what we need to do, right? Like that.
True.
What I love about Bohemian Rhapsody is it does that, but it does it in an interesting way, and it brings in a different side of Freddie Mercury that I think we all knew, but like I didn't know to the extent of everything in his relationship with his female, I forget her name, but the female friend that he always brought around. And then Rocket Man is just something completely different. It is just so artistically different. It is Elton John personified in a movie. The way that I heard it is when he sings Rocket Man, it's like as if Elton is singing Man, as if I were actually flying, and then he actually flies up, right? This film doesn't bring any like point to it as far as the artist. I think it's just the artist is there, and I think a biopic needs to have some sort of swing to it where it's like, okay, we're talking about a specific artist. Let's bring that artist's perspective into some sort of degree, and make it interesting. I think a good amount of biopics have done this. I don't think it's a hard ask to have, but I think you had a little bit of a story there between the father-son dynamic, but I wanted more of that. I think that was brilliant. I felt every time that Coleman Domingo was on screen was one of my favorite parts of this movie.
Yeah, but I think we got it. I don't think we need it anymore. They got
that I agree with. Like I
they got it.
As much as I wouldn't mind seeing a more flawed Michael, and if we want to utilize that to make things more interesting. But I got the idea with the father. The dad is the villain.
And the difference between Michael Jackson and a Freddie Mercury or a friggin' Rocket Man is that he was famous for way longer. There's more time to cover. You can get all the Queen stuff done in a movie because not as much happened.
Elton John was famous for longer than Michael Jackson was.
You think so?
Yeah, he's been famous since the 60s.
I feel like Michael's worldwide, though, or Elton John's necessarily as worldwide.
Michael Jackson has been famous since the 60s, dude. The movie started in 66.
Years.
Like, what are we talking about? The movie starts in 66, and he's in his room, and they're all practicing, and then he goes and like right away.
When does Rocket Man start in the 60s, or does it start in the 50s? I don't remember.
I don't remember. My one gripe with
it starts in the 50s. So
gripe incoming.
Neo.
Where does it start in the 50s?
Rocket Man starts in the 50s.
Gripe incoming.
Gripe. Let's hear the gripe.
Gripe.
Oh,
gripe.
I wasn't sure. I stopped because people were talking. My only thing I wish they put more involved with, and I kind of get why they didn't, because it would have been a longer movie, is this. Can we put the spoiler up? I don't want to like spoil anything.
I just give your opening thoughts because Justin hasn't
Okay.
really given their opening thoughts yet.
Okay, then I won't say this. I'll say it for later.
He's
I thought
Appreciate it.
it was what? I thought it was a really good film for a biological film. And I walked in the expectation of this is not going to blow me away, but I'm going to enjoy it,
Yep.
learn more about Michael Jackson, and have fun. I thought the acting was phenomenal.
Yep.
The shots were phenomenal. Well, the shots were average for what this was. I don't think it was a masterpiece cinematic wise. It was average. Like I walked in with the expectation of it's going to have some close-ups and wides, and it did. You know,
Yep.
It was well lit. There's nothing poorly lit. The score and the mixing I thought was amazing. There was not a moment where I was like, "Oh man, this score is higher than the dialogue," or a moment where the songs overrode the whole storytelling experience. It actually enhanced the experience a lot. I also was right next to the speaker in the back where it should be Jack. Sorry.
What? Did you just say the place in the movie theaters in the back?
Yes, just the seat I was at was in the back where it should be, and I said, "Sorry, Jack." Because he like in the front.
No, one row behind center.
Listen, I was in the back, all cozy. I had no one behind me. It was amazing. I had my little blankie.
I love our variety here.
Now you're speaking my language.
My little blankie, and I was
speaking.
by myself. There was couples all over me, which was like kind of weird, and they're talking, which kind of irritated me. But that's besides the point.
My mom was talking a little bit. She kept trying to talk to me, and I was like not answering. But she would then like wait 5 minutes and be like, "Oh, did you know I used to watch the Jackson 5 every Saturday morning, and I'd have to take the knob off the TV so my brother couldn't change the channel." There was a lot of boomer bait nostalgia in there.
But
I had my first crush on Michael Jackson.
I'm dead.
Oh, Michael.
I thought the second half
had a really good time.
Did drag a little bit. The second half dragged a little bit.
The first half was better for sure. Second half definitely dragged a little bit. We didn't even need that final.
No.
That final in England that they could have ended right when he walked off stage and said "I'm done." That could have been the end.
I agree.
I feel like that would have been a little bit more impactful, like him walking out like "I'm done," and then the movie ends, and it's like, okay, but they didn't need that last musical number, which was like whatever.
We didn't need it.
We didn't need it.
It really felt like it was too on the nose of like, oh well, we're missing the whole like part of Michael Jackson where he was actually a bad human being, and now we're singing it, and then we're gonna do an Avengers Doomsday release that he's gonna be there in the Avengers Doomsday. That's what it felt like. Those are the last.
Preferred
5 minutes of this
for it
movie.
to have covered the controversial time in his life, but explained in a very positive light why it was that all those things happened, and saying actually Michael was in the right on this and this, and we do cover that period of time.
I feel like the pointing to Neverland bit that happened at least 5 or 6 times in this movie was rage bait for me specifically.
Okay, so it's just rage bait for you.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else was rage baited by it.
I was so annoyed.
I mean, you look at the.
Well,
the
I think also knowing going into
they were, like I think. I don't think Cameron's alone in this world.
I don't need the critic reviews because critics are dumb, and I see plenty of movies, so I'll be able to judge it just fine.
Yeah, I just feel.
Not bad. You know it.
Wait, I have a comment here. Before we put up the spoilers, 3 of you are too young to actually appreciate the dimensions of this movie. Jack and I watched it happen.
You were there?
Jack, you were physically in London? I didn't know you were in London in the 80s.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I agree. I'm trying to understand this point of understanding the dimension of this movie because
I'll try to translate Jeffrey here into Cameron speak by saying I think what Jeffrey's trying to convey is that the movie is more built to hit the neurons of people who have lived the Michael Jackson experience throughout their lives, as opposed to for the people who might have, got it in more passing by coming in a little later.
Which is basically what he just said.
That was
sure. I think, though, a lot of people watching this movie are not going to have that impact. I also would argue that it doesn't matter. I think they do a great job at showing the impact of Michael Jackson as an artist throughout this film. I wouldn't even deny that. Like, that doesn't even come across my mind as like something they did poorly, right? Like, I think, like, I don't even think that's wrong, and I think I understand the gravity of it, except for Justin, maybe because Justin didn't even know who the Jackson 5 were.
Wait. Do you know who Janet Jackson is, Justin?
Michael Jackson's wife.
Oh.
Okay, continue, Cameron.
So close.
We took a guess.
Anyway,
I take it I got it wrong.
Anyway, so I wouldn't deny that isn't a very important part of the film. My gripe comes in on a very different level, which is, so we're doing nostalgia bait, which is fine, but I wanted more. Just personally, I wanted more of a story instead of just nostalgia bait, which is what it feels like this movie was. And it wasn't bad nostalgia bait. Don't get me wrong. Like the parts that were the nostalgia bait, it did technically a really good job. The performances are really strong in this. I just wanted more out of this.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like everyone, at least everyone in my theater, there was just such a positive reaction to everything that happened. Like all the jokes landed. Now, granted, I went for like the Wednesday, like early release, so kind of anyone who wanted to be there type thing. But it was like completely sold out, and like all the jokes landed. Everybody was bopping along, so it was just such a positive reaction in the theater. It was tough for me, like, not to have a good time and walk out thinking, okay, it must have been good enough if all those people were happy. And
I mean, yeah,
it's also made like close to $220 million already.
That's
so
they're doing which makes sense. It is the biggest, I think, out of all of the major biopics. Is the the biggest one, essentially, like the biggest star.
Well, he is star.
What?
No real bigger star, at least as far as solo performing artists. There is none. I mean, you can argue the Beatles maybe are a bigger band. I don't know. But as far as solo artists, there's not gonna be a bigger one than Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
There's what?
I mean, we don't have full numbers yet. Right now, worldwide, 82 million is the number that I have as of right now.
217.4 million at the global.
Where do you have that number? I'm on Box Office Mojo.
Transition it to me now.
Anyway, Justin, thoughts on Michael movie?
So here's the fun thing about not really being in the Michael Jackson worlds of experience and information, and like only catching him in passing. I think there's a spectrum to this movie where you have the Jeffrey Spectors who are like in it and lived it and loved it, and then like you kind of like this middle ground of like your Camerons, right? Who they get the story, they're not like they're interested but not enthralled. They're skeptical. They're looking for more of a movie than for the Jackson experience, right? For in a traditional sense. And then you got the far other side of the spectrum, where you have me, where you don't fully know the experience, and I think the other two groups, what they lack is the ability to go into this movie and discover a very interesting person in terms of eccentricities. I had an awesome time because I was learning about Michael Jackson in a way that I feel like the average person watching this movie is not learning. I had a really, really fun time. Like, I'm not, I'm agreeing that it's not like mind blowing in a biopic sense. I'm not like, OMG, this, this is a rich, flawed character, but this guy has pizzazz. I understand now why Michael Jackson is like so intriguing, so fun for the people who grew up with him and were like all about this guy. I see the way that this person performs, and I'm like, okay, I could see myself like 200 years ago growing up as one of his fans and like being so in love with this character of a person, and
Justin?
now I have a
Justin?
crush too. So
Justin, when
I'm
did you
team
when
I'm
did you
team
think
Michael today.
when did
The
you
asterisk of in this fictionalized movie reality in which I don't know all the details of the stuff that happened outside of this little circle of the what is in contextual the movie.
Justin, when do you think Michael Jackson was alive?
Did I say 200 years ago? Was it just 100? Like there were dates on screen. I know.
You know what? That was the clip that I wanted.
I pay attention
That's the
to
clip that I
movies.
wanted. That's all I wanted. I just wanted the clip. That's, to be honest with y'all. I thought that'd be a great clip. Between Anthony, my reaction, that was iconic. Anyway, let's put up some
Give me the
spoilers so that
gripes.
Anthony can say his line. Because
Oh,
you had a point. You had a gripe.
yeah, I did a gripe. Okay. My
Gripe
gripe.
gripe time.
So I mentioned before the first half was like really nice, smooth. The second half it felt dragged and long. You guys mentioned before about Michael and his dad having the interactions about like obviously his dad being the villain, being an asshole, like pushing him too much, forcing him to do things like the victory tour. And my gripe is actually with the victory tour scene. His hair catches on fire, which happens in real life, right? Because of his dad. He has to go to the hospital. He says he doesn't want to take pain meds. The doctor's like, you have to take pain meds. I wish there was like some sort of like interaction with Michael and a struggle between like the pain meds and his addiction between pain meds and the second half a little bit more. I know that would have extended the movie longer. I wish there was more of like, because that was impactful on his life. Like his suffering with pain medications, addiction, pain medication, going in and out of rehab, stuff like that. That is like a part of his, I don't want to say like part of his like history. I just wish there was a little bit more involved that in the movie.
My question to that is how, as much as I want more story, how does this push the A plot of Michael Jackson's story along?
I mean, it has to do with his character development.
Like, sure, but in a 2-hour-long movie, it just feels like another layer that I wanted more out of the layers that we already had.
You could have.
I don't need another layer added.
You could definitely cut a little bit of the end and add that extra layer in, like subtly, or cut a little bit of the dad's.
When does he start going to rehab? What's the timeline on that? Does anyone know?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Like, does he start going to rehab after the hospital or before the hospital?
After.
I feel like
1993.
Yeah, which is way
when he went into rehab. So after the movie takes place.
But we could have had like the start of him.
That was the whole point. It's gonna be they left it open to have another movie. Now the second movie would have a completely different feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think wouldn't service it well. I think that would just hurt a lot of its, like, I don't know. I feel that a second Michael Jackson movie would not be as nice.
What do you mean?
As like, even though I want the controversy, it just feels like like such a tonal shift might be too much for a second part here.
Wicked for
Very
Good
few
was a
movies
lot
can do that
darker than
well.
the original, Cameron.
Would you say?
I said Wicked for Good is darker than the first one.
And we saw how well that went with the
Well, I
the
mean, the
public.
third act didn't do well in Broadway either, though.
You mean the second? There is no third act of.
Second, I don't know Broadway like that. My opinion on Broadway does not matter.
No, but the second act of Broadway of Wicked works because it's not 2.5 hours.
No, the more
It's
you
only
know.
60 minutes.
The more you know.
Wow,
You have to
what a
take
movie!
Anthony to see Wicked.
I liked when there was tiny Michael Jackson. I liked when there was big Michael Jackson. I like the fits. I like the dancing. I love the music. This guy's got style and thoughts. And look at that artist. Those are my thoughts.
Yep.
But any, I mean, like within the context of the movie, right? Do you feel the joy when he brings out a zany animal, or is that just like, yeah? I mean, I've been.
Oh,
new.
it's great.
Like,
I love it. I love it. I laughed every
this is the
time.
story.
It
I
was
get
so
it. I
great.
get it.
Yeah,
Bubble?
the
It was
jokes
so
landed.
iconic.
Jokes for sure.
They
landed.
did land. They
I
were
don't even
really
remember.
fun.
I don't remember them, but they landed.
There's the one moment
Oh.
I forget when he had a fight with his dad. I think he had a fight with his dad, and then all of a sudden the two. Oh no! Or was it that the parents were having a fight, and then after the scene they just linger for a second longer on this shot, and a giraffe just shows up.
Yeah.
That was iconic. Now that CGI monkey was god awful.
Wasn't great.
It was bad.
It wasn't great.
That was like Planet of the Apes bad. Those
Well,
were not.
It wasn't
Planet of
that
the Apes
bad.
was good. What are you talking about?
It
Like,
was- yeah,
What
it's
iteration?
what I
are we-
expected for a
Like the
budget
newer
movie.
ones, the newer ones.
The newer ones are fantastic.
Yeah,
What are you talking
people, yeah,
The
praise those
CGI.
movies.
I don't know.
It's completely believable CGI, and the movies are like 2 hours long. What are you talking about?
That's like their thing. That's what
That's their thing.
that's what it's all about. You
I-
go to those
then
movies
this
for the
is
monkeys.
considerably worse. I did not like the CGI monkey. I thought it was terrible in this movie.
I'm still
It
caught
was
up on
not
you
good.
thinking the CGI is bad in Planet
I
of the Apes.
am too.
When was
I
the last time we saw Planet of the Apes?
We're doing Rise of the Planet of the Apes next, I guess.
We should.
I've seen Planet of the Apes. Which one did I
Which one?
see?
Which one? There's 10 of them.
Was it Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
That's the first of the new 4.
That's the one with Franco. And also Draco Malfoy.
If monkeys
Then it-
haven't taken over the world yet, it's Rise.
Then it's not that one.
Okay, there you
I
go.
think. But there
So
are
you did not
humans.
start with the first one.
I saw it in theaters a couple of years ago. Hi.
Hi.
Yo, hello.
I have a
Hi.
What
Yes.
did you see? You didn't see the Michael Jackson movie, I assume.
No, she was in New Orleans.
I was in New Orleans.
What are
I'm
your
only
thoughts on
going
Michael
to
Jackson?
movies when we're home. Can't leave the child at home with the dog like you can in Peter Pan. Well, you can. I guess you couldn't in that movie either. So, anyway, yeah. Hi guys.
Bye, Peter Pan. That's relevant.
She really did a good job of tying that to the film.
You did.
So
She
yeah, I
did a
mean,
job.
like within the context, like yeah, Neverland you could call rage bait, but I guess within the context of the film as it actually is, if you're looking at it as an isolated piece of art, I guess what it becomes without that like missing, or arguably missing third act, so to speak, is here is a reflection of what the torture of the father figure has done to Michael. So if that lands for you, great. If it doesn't, whatever. But I guess it's interesting when you take out the fabled third act that was removed from the movie.
Yeah, because
That
they
is
shot
what-
a whole third act.
It's interesting
of
to
this
look
film.
at how everything becomes recontextualized, because now
They filmed a whole portion of this. They filmed a whole section of this movie about Michael Jackson in the 90s. And got rid of it because they realized that because of the settlement that Michael Jackson made, they couldn't talk about the original victim, I think it was, that he had settled out of
Something like
court,
that.
essentially. And because of that, you couldn't add that in there, which feels as though, looking back on history, this film kind of feels a little out of place, essentially. Like it feels like it's missing is like the whole point of that I feel like the whole point of bringing up Neverland so many times is to have a payoff later of him building Neverland and what that means and the things that happened there. And like I think that we can speculate, and I'd love to speculate with you guys what you think that third act would kind of build up. The way that this movie kind of sets itself up, it feels like it was going to pin the things that Michael Jackson allegedly did as a trauma response.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
to the
even in the
dad,
context of the current movie, that is the read, at least from my perspective, of the purpose of that being in the movie in its current state. It's to
right.
not use the trauma response as an explanation for what comes later in his life, but to present what a trauma response looks like as a result of what his upbringing looked like. So, because what's interesting to me is, you could argue day and night like whether or not like the movie needed that third act, and I understand that it probably would have been more interesting if that was there. But what is more interesting to me is to talk about what the movie now looks like as a result of those changes and how that becomes recontextualized, because that is still what you're saying that is there for, still is there for that purpose. It's just it doesn't have payoff material.
It's just inferred.
It is its own
Everyone knows what
payoff.
happens anyway.
Look at what
I
happened
think
to Michael Jackson as a result of his upbringing, and it still is exemplifying what the character has been through and experienced. It just doesn't lead to additional further things, which obviously would make things more interesting. But there is an A to B there. You're just looking for an A to B to C.
Sure, and I think this film does a good job of ending it on a nice note and ending it in a way to close. Now, I would say I agree with, I believe it was Anthony and Jack.
Did you get it?
Who said that we didn't need the forward skip to London. I think they added that in to have a cool part of the film where we were able to move forward into time and have that like iconic performance, essentially. Although I think we get that anyway with the Victory Tour.
Yeah, I just don't. It didn't add all that much by that point, because, like you said, there wasn't going to be a payoff. I knew there wasn't going to be a payoff because I knew the movie only went so far in his career. So at that point, I'd kind of gotten it, and I didn't really need the last musical number.
Noting the text at the end that says this was only the beginning or whatever it says, that was so dumb.
Michael's story continues
in Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's what it felt like. It was so dumb. I was
if there's
so
no
annoyed.
Part 2, that is quite an interesting way to conclude this, because it's like Michael, because the audience knows how it continues, so it's not such an optimistic thing to have in the movie that is otherwise very
no, it brought up negative thoughts in my mind. I was like, yeah, it sure does.
Exactly. But if there was a part 2, like that works a little bit better, at least, because it feels more like it's hinting at a part 2 as opposed to hinting at a dark period.
It was, and they are open to it, they said.
So we'll see what comes of that. Do we want to address the Jeffrey Spector in the room?
It would be such a different movie, and the people who hated this one would like that one, and the people who like this one would hate that one.
So apparently you guys are right. Apparently there is a sequel being worked on.
Yeah, they said they already interviewed Coleman Domingo and some other people about it. It's not like a go, but it's like
but this will make a lot of money.
It's essentially an early development, is what I'm reading.
They just want to make sure this one makes enough money, and then if it does, they're just gonna go for it because
it probably will.
Jeffrey
Spector.
Oh, with the Nostalgia Gate.
Yeah.
Wait, what was it?
Do we?
You do it.
Okay.
I just did. What's wrong with nostalgia bait? Isn't the whole point of a film to sometimes document what's happened to replay parts of our lives?
Very true.
But Cameron, here's Cameron's issue, and I'm gonna after I translated Jeffrey to Cameronese, I'm gonna do the reverse now. Cameron's issue is that Cameron understands that this is a historical film. Cameron understands the history well enough to know that there is some juicy drama that has happened in history that isn't included in this movie, and Cameron wants to experience the full extent of the highs and lows involved in the Michael Jackson story, and feels that this movie is missing out on prime drama material that was left on the cutting room floor for what Cameron believes to be very cynical reasons, being that they wanted to paint this beautiful Michael Jackson image without
I don't even know if it's that.
the negative stuff, and
I
that
don't agree with that last part.
is iffy for Cameron.
I don't 100% agree with that last point that you made.
Okay.
I would also say I think the major thing that I bump into with this movie is that nostalgia. Did I do that or did you do that? You okay? Nostalgia bait. Is only an issue. Is only an issue when it sacrifices story for in order to do fan service.
But the thing is, Michael did it better than, let's say, Mario. Mario was just nostalgia bait, and it wasn't even good nostalgia bait. It was bad nostalgia bait. At least this was good.
And if you had been on the episode, Jack, you would have known that we, in fact, did not like Mario.
Well, who did? No one.
Well, yes.
That argument is not good for me because you're just proving my point.
Saying that was bad nostalgia bait, whereas this is good nostalgia bait. There's a difference.
I still think you're sacrificing story for it, and I don't appreciate that. I think there could have been more story in there. I think there could have been a better story beat in there, and that's my issue.
There could have been a better story, but
I think the concept of fan service. I think the concept of fan service is very interesting because it also dives into like what it is that we feel like is put into a movie and what like labels we assign to it, because like if an action movie has like really cool fight scenes for a while that like aren't like so story juicy intensive, that fan service? Like it's just giving
fan
the
service
audience
only becomes
pleasant.
Fan service only becomes an issue.
Story rooted fan service inherently. Like I understand that like you're talking like fandom fan service, but like that's just another element of like here's something that people might enjoy. And what is a movie if not like something to enjoy?
Sure. I think I'll give another example. I think I'll give an example of when fan service is done right. And this is a little bit of a niche-ier example, and I'll get to this point down here. I also recently watched Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. Great. It was amazing. I loved it. I feel that film is also fan service to a bunch of other niche types of filmmaking, as well as like the samurai and like Japanese sword fighting community. Right? I think that's done well because it intertwines with the story so well that it just works. But the way that movie is made, if you're a fan of that genre of film, it is a direct copy of that style. That is fan service. But that fan service serves the purpose of the story. I feel that the fan service here, and that's what I have a problem with a lot of different biopics, is that the fan service steps in front of the actual storytelling, essentially to be able to get more ticket sales because they're able to say that we did the Thriller music video, and that we did the performance of Bad. Like that's where my issue comes from. Now, I'm not saying that they were bad performances. I would say the complete opposite. They were incredible. This is incredibly done. I just feel that in the whole of the movie, that the movie itself becomes not as impactful because of it.
Here's the
So
thing.
that's my
I
that's
think
where
the things that you're talking about are like going to be in this movie no matter what. We're doing thriller and bad and whatever. I mean, I even know the Jean song
You didn't know
before this
Billie
movie.
Billie
Jean?
Jean.
Stop.
Anyway,
You're
point
fooling.
being
You're
that like
fooling.
I think it's everything around that at least I would expect you to have the problem with here, right? Because like they
We
could
didn't
do
even
the
do the
fun music
lean.
video
We
things
didn't even do.
and
You're
still
telling me
dive into some darkness around that. So I don't think like I would never knock the movie about the musical artist for including the musical segments. Maybe if there's a way to be like, Michael is filming the Thriller music video and like they set up the shots and then like he punches a guy in the face and then we I don't know what Michael Jackson's
no,
genre
but like
is.
I gave the Thriller music video as
I
an
know some
example.
elements, but like point being, and then jumps into the music video. Like obviously there's ways to integrate drama into those sequences in a way that it doesn't super, but like there's a whole rest of the movie that is like so positive and sanitized that like I would think that those would be the areas that we're critiquing because they're gonna do the fight, the action movie's gonna have the fight scenes. This movie's gonna have the music sequences. Like it's gonna happen.
I think the music video had a very good, like there was a big theme in this film about the feet. His feet being a major part of this film. They cut to his feet a lot, which makes a lot of sense, right? Like his movement of how he moved in performances was electric. Why isn't that a bigger part of the story? It could have been. I feel like there's something. It feels like a standalone part of the story.
What did you want that story to look like? Can you pitch that to me?
I don't know.
I'm not sure if I'm following.
I have no idea.
You want to
movie about Michael Jackson's feet, Justin?
Yeah, wait.
What don't you understand about it?
I don't understand this. I'm really trying to understand this. I need you to understand
want to watch it
how much I want to understand this point. What are you talking about? But I'm like, is it like what are we getting at? What's that story look like? Pitch it to me. I'm the executive. You're the writer. Tell me what you want this movie to be about, please.
Why was that the thing that he focused so much of his time on? Why was it his feet? Was he just that talented at dancing?
Yes.
Jack, stop it.
Is that his whole thing? Unless there's elements of Michael that I'm not aware of that you could educate me on.
I don't know either, but that's why I want to watch biopic, is to learn about the thing that I didn't know.
He's so focused on his image and how he's perceived. So of course he wants every element of him that he's worked so hard to craft and perfect to be exemplified on screen at all times. Like I'm like that is story to me right there. That is character.
He also says it in the scene when he like mentions go wide to show his scenes. He says like you can't have the dance without the feet. The feet is the most important thing about the dancers. As someone who like works in dance world, like
all right, I totally forgot about that part.
Yeah, like he says it in the thing. Like,
that's on me. Okay.
It's like the most important thing about a dancer is their feet because it shows the pivot that he's good at too. Like I don't know if he did ballet, but his point, like when he goes up, is phenomenal. Like, he's gonna have point shoes on, so it's impressive. Like it's very impressive how he does that without point shoes. That's hard.
My toes are a little longer.
There's something to balance of somewhere as to how much one can tell. That's not my point.
Cameron,
that's not
balance. You got to think about it. Balance.
I'm saying there needs to be. He's telling me that there's not supposed to be balance.
Balance.
I'm confused.
Iago.
Yeah, I think we're losing the plot here with this string of messages.
His hair caught fire? I didn't know that.
So yeah, but Taylor Swift does not have the same social impact that Michael Jackson had at the time. The Jackson were part of the whole evolution of rock and roll, the whole evolution of blacks into white society. And if you lived during that time, as Michael Jackson gained his notoriety, it was a turning point for the history of the country. And Taylor, I'm trying to remember when we brought up Taylor Swift, but that's a different issue.
We didn't, but I think the
did.
point is
phenomenon.
for
Whereas Megan was a
comparison
cultural and
purposes to
social one.
how
I'm not disagreeing on anything here. I think there should have been more of this if we could have done more of this in the film. By the way, once had Hollywood bait. No, that's not bait because the Mansons are an integral part of the story of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I don't know. And then, well, so what's wrong with us learning the backstory of someone who has an icon? When we go, yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. Am I going crazy?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Am I going crazy?
Yes.
I'm saying we need more backstory. I'm saying I want more interaction with these. I want more interaction with these characters. I don't want the glitz. I don't want as much of the glamour. I love and I understand that they need to be in there, but I want to know more backstory. I want to know more behind Michael. My favorite part of this film every time was Coleman Domingo, point blank. I was excited every time he came on.
There was a lot of him. There was so
I don't
much
care. There needs to be more. He's a talented actor and he's great.
He was
he's a talented actor, but like you can only,
like I
only
don't
beat
know
a dead horse
if
so
any
many
additional
times.
scenes would have added anything. Like we got it. It got to a point where I'm like, yeah, I understand. Like there's not like I don't know if there's any more evolution to be done with that dynamic.
And I'll bring this point home again. I think the last song in the film, and I agree with everyone here, kind of weakens the whole film. I don't know why. I think having him leave the stadium would have been the most impactful ending.
Yeah, I like that ending. I agree with you there. That's what I said. I like that ending.
I said you're all agreeing with me. So that's my. Like,
I mean, like, listen, if I'm going to see a musical movie, I like it ending on the high of a performance. Like that's fun. I think fun,
but not
is the
even
goal of this
Bohemian
movie,
Rhapsody.
And if they want to achieve that, that is the best way to go about it.
Bohemian Rhapsody didn't do that. Rocket Man didn't do that.
Great, I didn't see those.
The Amy Whitehouse film didn't do that. I think the only film that I can think of was Better Man that did that. That ended on a musical note.
Better Man.
I mean, like, yeah, I think to bring it back to action movie again, like I like when an action movie ends with some action. I like when a musical movie ends with some music. Like,
but
let the
action
movie
does not
do what
end
it
with
does
action
best and leave you on that high note if that's the kind of vibe that they're going for. I would agree that if they were going for like a sadder drama, go for the sadder drama ending. But like, if they're going for the fun musical movie, which is the goal of this movie, clearly, let it end that way.
I don't know. That's where I live.
In London?
Sure. In fact, the Manson family is not the point of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They are side characters. The whole point of the movie is Cliff Booth and his son, and I think was that the character was it the actor or was it the stunt double? It's about those two.
That's
Cliff was the stunt double.
Then it's about Cliff Booth and whoever Leonardo DiCaprio plays.
That's another movie where I wanted a more of a story explanation for why the feet were so important.
Well, that you don't need any explanation there. It's a Tarantino.
That has no story explanation. That's just Quentin Tarantino.
You're gonna get feet at some point.
Like, yeah, I feel like
Rate it, Cameron.
I already did.
Oh, we didn't.
He didn't.
Yeah, the Manson is the point of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I said,
"Rate the movie, the Michael movie."
Do we not have? I feel like I've been talking so much today. Do we have no other points?
I mean, granted, it's not like a very big story, impactful.
Like you said, it's a lot of fluff, but it's fun fluff.
It's fun fluff.
I don't disagree. I just want more. I want more story. I'm sorry.
There's only so much.
My point, Cameron, is the video doesn't have to end on the reviews. The reviews might spark more conversation, and I do think that in terms of the timeline, I think it's a good time for that. And we could.
You know what time it is, guys? You know what time it is? It's time to rate that movie.
Well.
I believe I gave it a 6 out of 10, which is a little low. You could convince me to do it a 7 out of 10, but it's somewhere in that range.
Yeah, I mean, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, which
Yes, it's a 7 out of 10. Why are you complaining? Why are you complaining?
I didn't complain.
Okay. Yes, you do. You complain.
That doesn't sound like me.
But,
Yeah,
but
Jack never complains.
Cameron's talking about the movie like it's a 4.5 out of 10. So that's why I do rankings and not ratings, because everyone's numbers can
People
be the
don't know
same.
what numbers
Wild
mean.
these are
No one
different.
understands what a number is.
If we understand what numbers are.
I don't know. Isn't that like what you gave the initial Mario movie a 7 out of 10 or something? Like,
I'm giving
Yeah,
it
but I
did give that a 7 out of 10. I think they're both 7 out of 10s. I think that tracks. I think this and the first Mario movie are basically both 7 out of 10.
they're basically the same movie.
Different movies, but they both are 7 out of 10s.
Yeah, the Mario movie's fine.
You can convince me that the first Mario. What would you give the first Mario movie? Not the new one. The new one's dog shit. That's 1 out of 10. But
what the first one?
I would say that
I like the first one.
initial one is twice as good as the second one.
Well, I gave the second one 2 stars, I think, or 1.5 stars. So
Double it, baby.
So 3 or 4 stars, which I said 3.5. So you're right in my range here.
Sure. What about this one for Anthony?
Anthony,
I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10.
okay.
Ooh la la.
So we have a 6, we have a 7, and we have a 7.5. It's time for Justin to round us out with an 8, baby.
Give it
Show
an
me
8.
an 8. Show
All
me an 8.
I
No
think
whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
I'll give it a 12 while I'm at it. Let's raise that average.
It doesn't make sense.
I'll make it a 13 if you keep that up.
Okay. We'll keep it 12.
Out of 59 podcast movies that I have seen, I put Michael at a 36.
36 of 59. What's that?
I have it below Elio and Nightmare Before Christmas. I have it above Sisu and David Edinburgh Ocean.
Sisu? Aww.
It's close.
Puppy.
I'm more dazzled by this movie. And honestly, those two movies are good comparisons, because it is a lot of it comes down to which character are you having more fun with, Michael or Sisu. And I'm having a little more fun with Michael here. Neither movie is exploring the negative depths of their lead character. It's just the lead character is doing the thing that they're really good at. How much fun are you having watching it? That's what both movies are about. So I do think that it's funny that they're back to back. They're good comparisons. But I'm pretty dazzled by the portrayal of Michael Jackson not having grown up with the figure, and I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, I'd be crushing on Michael Jackson back in the 1880s or whatever. Full circle humor.
Full circle.
But I think that's a fair ranking, and I think honestly, Cameron probably agrees with me, but is just not commenting on it.
I don't actually disagree with your ranking.
Go.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been another episode of the Capcom Podcast. I'm Cameron.
I'm Justin.
I'm Anthony.
And Spanx is down there. And we'll see you for episode next week. John Wick.
No, still no one told me who Janet Jackson is.